Hi, in my today's tutorial, I want to build this map you see here together with you with my tool BeamNG mapping tools. We will need perhaps half an hour or 45 minutes for it. It's not too hard to do. And you see we have here the Rossfeld Panoramastraße in Bavaria, Germany, with trees, nice roads, and a good looking map overall. So this is the map, and we will build it together. So first, some more impressions. We have nice valleys, nice mountains, and it looks quite decent and quality-wise very good. So, okay, let's hop into building this map. Wait a moment, here you see that we have bridges now. They are not very nice modeled, but at least they are there. First thing to do is that you have to download my BeamNG mapping tools on GitHub. You will find the link in the comments in the description section below. It's quite easy. If you go to GitHub and to my page, you go to the actual releases. Here, release 165 is the actual release. Perhaps it's higher after I make the video. Perhaps I put some new release on it. You click on the name and just download the setup file over here. I don't do it now because we want to go forward. And the second thing is that we start to download this Rossfeld GeoTIFF file, which we need for generating the terrain. I use, to make it simple, the MapNG page, mapng.com, from a good friend of mine, Niklas. Really great page. And to make it easy, I show you just the steps we need for our work now. It's quite important that you use the right, can I put it in English here, this map? I don't know. It's German now because I'm German. So you have to work with German now, that you search the right source. Important here is that you use this premium global GPXZ source because this has the highest quality data available on MapNG. If you didn't use it before, you have to get an API key. It's quite easy. Here's a link. I opened it in a new tab. You go to the page, press get an API key, and do your process here. Then you get an API key. And if you have the API key, you go back, you paste it here, and then you can get, I guess, 100 requests a day, which is more than enough for making some nice maps per day. So this is really the important step here. And because I'm a lazy guy, be sure that you use 4K here. This is okay for the map size. And then we just go here to select place. There is a drop down. And at the end, you find this Rossfeld Panoramastraße, Germany. And we take exactly this one. So it just goes here. It takes already a decent place. So we don't change anything here. And then if you want to see how it looks like, I said OSM features, embed OSM features just to get a preview of the terrain. We take a look at a preview. To be clear, we don't need all the data you can get on MapNG because MapNG is able to make an own BeamNG level. But quality-wise, it's not that perfect to drive immediately on this map. It's a good starting point for building your own map, but I have a little bit of a different workflow. So, but here you see what we download. You see the valley we drove through, and exactly this is the terrain we want to have. So after we press this button or press only generate data, it's enough for our case. We go down this menu here and you find really downwards geodata, download GeoTIFF. And we need this particular file. Okay, it's downloaded. Let's take a look here to be sure that I don't mess it up. I say Rossfeld panorama so that I know what we have here. Only one F. So, okay. Now that you downloaded and installed my tool, I'm pretty sure you have it already. We go to my tool. And we start with a create level wizard because we really start from scratch now. Press create level wizard and call it Rossfeld panorama. Copy this for the next field. You see it's changing the name a bit on the first place because it's for the level path in the files. And we need a very simple path name there. And here is the name which is shown in the level selector from BeamNG. I just enter Germany here. I guess it's for the number plates or something. I don't know exactly if it's really used. And that's it. All the other information is not important right now. But we tell the system now from which source map of BeamNG we want to derive our map and all our materials and the trees. And a good map for it, if we have something in Germany, is the East Coast. Use a map. You can choose every vanilla map here in the drop down, but we take East Coast USA. The select file button is if you want to load a modded map for source map. Okay, we say initialize new level, and what it does now is copying some stuff from the East Coast map over to a temp folder in first step, like you see some decal roads, some objects we need in our scene tree so that the map is able to load in BeamNG. So not too important to change anything here. You can't change anything here, but we head over to the second step, select terrain materials. And here you can select the terrain materials from East Coast, which we want to use for our new level. So we keep it simple for now. You see the list is long. We just click over here on the top and select all of the terrain materials and press the copy selected button here. Ask the second time, and say yes, we want to copy it, and it copied the materials already. So the terrain materials, yes, everything you see on the surface of the map, like grass, like forest. Now in the next step, continue to forest brushes. So because we want to have some neat, nice forest items on our map, you saw it in the intro already, we need trees. So I select everything. So here's this ECA man-made. We wouldn't need that. There are houses in and containers and stuff like that. We could switch this off. Doesn't matter if you don't switch it off. And I say copy selected. Again, ask again, and we say yes, please. Now in our next step in our wizard is possibility to select assets. So like DAE objects, houses, church, whatever, decal roads from East Coast. We don't need it in this step. So please just skip it. Skip this step. And now we are at the place where the most things happen. this is the generate terrain mask, and this was quite complicated in the beginning of my tooling here, but I made it a lot easier now. So you will see it's not too hard to do. So we don't have any presets right now. We start from scratch. We have downloaded one file, so we say select files here. Go to the download folder where you downloaded the file. You see the Rossfeld panorama height map here. We click it, open it. It's loading it in. You see, we have here a selection box, what we want to select, but we want to have all of it. It's 4K, and here you see it's only 2K selected in my application. You just open the drop down, go to 4K, and everything is selected. This is what we want to have. Please do that. So now you have this long terrain materials list. It's a bit like in BeamNG itself. If you want to import something, you have to assign kind of layers to the terrain materials in order that they get painted at the right place on the map. You had to do that manually in my first versions, but now I have this auto assign OpenStreetMap data to materials button, which does the work for us. I press the button, and you see it's already assigned. It was quite fast right now because I did it before to test if the map is okay for the video. Normally, what it does is that it downloads the OpenStreetMap data first. It takes 30 seconds, perhaps, for a size of this map. And then it does the same. What I did, and now you see we have layer maps already assigned, like forest. If I could take a look here, I open forest, and I select the OSM shapes, and you see the forest is already selected here. Same with grass, stuff like that. The first grass is automatically set to the beginning because everything which is not mapped with a layer gets the material of the first material of this list. It's like in BeamNG, and it's good to have grass here. So otherwise, if you would have dirt or rock, it would look awful. Okay, so we don't have to do anything with this list anymore, thanks to this nice button. Scroll down, then you have all the road width, lanes, deco road definitions. We leave it to my defaults. I have another video which explains the system. I don't do it right now. Leave the defaults, must be enabled. Would be quite nice. Here's the new feature set bridges and tunnels. Tunnels don't work right now. It's awful. But the bridges are quite okay and quite decent. So we say generate bridges. Yeah, a lot of parameters which I don't explain now. I only explain some parameters if it looks awful after the first generation. Then we can, of course, still build our buildings. You know, the ugly blocks. We do it just to get a feeling how many buildings there are. So I say enable buildings and say select buildings. And here you have all the building types which are available. And we say just select all. Now you see all these dots here where the buildings are. And you see we've selected more than 800 features, but it's quite okay. It's not that much. I click select, and that's fine. And all the other parameters are not important right now. So then let's generate our first version of the Rossfeld panorama street. Press generate terrain. I did a lot of stuff under the hood in my codes. It was quite slow in the beginning, and I really increased the performance, I guess, 2 or 3 times faster right now, which helps not waiting too long. You see, it's already done. What the wizard asks us, if we are wizard, please make an export preset, which is totally makes sense. Please do it now. You can come back every time, load this preset, and work on the terrain generation if the parameters are wrong. Yes, so they export preset. I have a dedicated folder for it with a lot of presets. I say make a new folder. I call it preset Rossfeld Panorama. So folder is selected. Press choose folder, and everything we set up right now is saved and can be reloaded later on. We say finish wizard. And what it does, it copies automatically our temp folder with all the settings we did now to the levels folder of BeamNG in the user folder. So we can directly give it a shot. So I go here, BeamNG, load BeamNG. We roam. I search Rossfeld. Here's our Rossfeld panorama. Take this one. Yes, we take the Sterling. Why not? And we have a first look at the map we just generated. It imports now all the buildings and bridges. Takes a while as the map is bigger, but this 4K map is quite okay. And you see, we are in the map. At first glance, it doesn't look that bad. We have different materials. You see the forest and the grass and stuff like that. And what I see immediately is that there's something wrong with the bridges. You see this bridge here? Seems like a water road, and it tries to make space under the bridge for boats, which completely doesn't make sense here. So wrong parameter setting. Absolutely no problem. We could just go back, search the bridge parameters at the beginning, and here you have the clearances. You have clearances for railroads, for normal roads, and here you have a navigatable water clearance for bigger waterways of 5 meters. This is not the parameter here, but we have a water freeboard here. It defaults to 2 meters. It's too much for this bridge. So I just set it to 0 and generate terrain again. Yeah, sometimes you have to be patient because something doesn't work in the first glance. So done, finish wizard. Yeah, the wizard is a bit ugly sometimes, but you see it rebuilds the buildings already. The bridge looks stupid now because we have to reload the level. I just reload it. And now the bridge is okay. Not beautiful, but it goes to this roundabout. But what of course is missing now are the trees. But you see, we have drivable roads. Even the junctions are quite smooth right now in my new version. This was very often a problem, but these roads are perfectly drivable. They might be perhaps a bit bumpy at this level here because we have a height difference from the lowest to the highest point of about 1,000 meters, and this is a lot for BeamNG, and can get a little bit bumpy, but it's okay. So we are missing the trees, so this is the next step we do. Since I changed one of the parameters here, it's a good idea to export the preset again. Yes, it doesn't do it automatically, and I don't do it automatically. It's really up to you to take care to save the preset. Just select the folder and it's saved. So because now we have to leave this screen, I intentionally didn't build the Biome generator and the base color manager into the level wizard, because they should work standalone. It doesn't make sense in the beginning. You want to change stuff to the terrain first, and then perhaps you want to add the trees. But we do it now. We just go to generate Biome. You have to select the level again. So it's saved in the BeamNG current folder in levels. You see, I have a lot of them here already from all my tries, and I really love my tool myself. So where's Rossfeld? Here's Rossfeld Panorama. You open it. And now you have the possibility to add trees to our forest layer. So how does it work in my version of the Biome tool? It's a bit different than the tool in BeamNG. We open the terrain material layers, and you see all the layers we have. And we talk about forest right now. Here you see we have almost 70% of forest covered in this level, and so it makes sense to give them nice trees. So I have a zone system. We configure zones. I explain it to you. A zone is like a ring from the outside to the inner side of a forest area. Yes, you can say how big is the zone. For example, here I have 5 meters. It makes sense to make a higher density of trees in the outer zones. So if you're sitting in the car, it looks like the forest is really dense. But in the inner zones, you use way less tree count, so that it's not too hard for your graphics card and for your CPU to render the whole forest. So how does it work? I show you. And it makes sense, for example, to leave the first zone empty. Yes, because it can be, if it's too narrow at the road, that you have trees on the road, and we don't want to have trees at the road. So I say the first 5 meters are just empty. You have this interior switch. This is for the last zone. If you don't need rings anymore, you just want to fill the rest of, I will show you. We leave this 5 meters here, and we don't do anything. We just say add zone, and now we have the second zone. Say here, for example, I want to have a ring of 20 meters with quite a high tree population. So, and now you see all the forest brushes here. I just care now for these Douglas fir, typical tree in mountainous regions in Germany. And I want to have some oaks as well. So 10% density, I tell you, is way too high. Even in the BeamNG Biome tool, it's stupid. You can go to 100%, and it would render millions of trees. My tool avoids this and warns you if you have too many of them. You need crazy small amounts. Yes, I already said 50% is the maximum, not 100%. But I'm talking about perhaps 3% now of density for the outer ring, which is way enough, I guess. And perhaps only 2% of oaks. So, okay. I don't know if you've seen these dead Douglas fir trees which lay on the floor. I don't like them that much. And in the outer ring, I don't want to have them at all. Otherwise, you can crash your car and stuff like that. And I even don't want to have these groups, because groups tend to float in the air if it's very steep. I click them off. You know, group is 4 or 5 trees at once. So I click them off. And I do the same in trees oak. I don't want to have the groups. So, okay, this is the ring of 20 meters. Yes. Now I add a zone and say this is the interior zone. So all the rest of these forest areas we have. So we need trees Douglas fir and trees oak as well. You can control click here too to get an input field. And I say, I only use perhaps 1.5% of trees Douglas fir, and here only perhaps 0.5% of trees oak. It's enough. You could add bushes and rocks and stuff like that too. Oh, perhaps we put some rocks into our outer ring. And on the inner ring, you don't need rocks because you never drive there. But on the outer ring, it would be quite nice. So let's see, we take some of the large rocks, but only, believe me, go low here. Small, perhaps some moss rocks. 2. I go to 0.5. Way enough. Okay. Yes, that's it. So we make a small estimation. How many trees would it get? You have to open it, and you see these are decent numbers, which are quite okay. Oh, did I do a mistake? Empty ring. Ah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Here you see. Yes, that's quite okay. Interesting is how many trees are rendered here. I told you I don't want to have this dead things. Yeah, a lot of rendered trees, of course, but we will see. So I set up all the trees for the forest. You can do it for every layer, of course. And I say generate all layers. And okay, 350,000 objects. Oh, why not? We will see how it looks. We go back to our level. And load our Rossfeld panorama again. The good thing with my Biome tool is you can delete all the trees with one click because I put them into one big file, and all your hand placed trees are not affected. So you can hand place trees and bushes and stuff like that, and all the Biome stuff is handled separately. So let's see. Ah, we see rocks. Yes, and this looks way better with a lot of trees here, you see, and a lot of rocks, perhaps too many rocks, I don't know. But you know how to lower the count. Yeah, this looks really like a good level, but there's one last step missing, and this is the base color management. What you have here, you have all the materials painted with one background color so that you really can paint. I have a kind of paint mode. You know it perhaps if you try to paint on a vanilla level, you don't see the right color under your brush. Here you would see the right color. If I would paint here now, and I would paint asphalt, it would be gray. But the transitions between materials are quite harsh and don't look so good if you have only a single color. The blending doesn't work. Here you see the jagged edges between dirt and grass, for example. Therefore, we have a nice and decent base color mode, and we try it out now. Just go to the base color manager. You must select the level again. It's still in the path here. And just say yes, select folder. And we are in paint mode. Therefore, you see regenerate paint mode. You could do if you change colors here or something like that. We go to the base color mode, where it makes a combined one image of all the materials we have. Doesn't look too sexy with the materials here. So we want to have a satellite image mixed in. So we say we take Google satellite only and say fetch. It will take a moment. It fetches the tiles from Google Maps and blends it in. You see, it's blended in. In my default setting, it's blended in 50-50 together with the materials we have. That's perfectly fine. What I normally do is to desaturate the background a bit, otherwise the colors are too harsh. So we just go back a bit, like 37%. This might be okay, 44. It's up to you how much you do. This is the first step. Yes, this is already nice, but the satellite imagery is projected on your roads and dirt roads too. And this might lead into kind of spots or ugly things on the road you don't want to have. Therefore, you have the possibility to say, okay, I want to not mix this overlay to the materials for special materials. For example, I can search asphalt here, and now you have all the asphalt types. And I say no overlay blend here, please. This really makes a difference, I tell you. So, and the same I do for my dirt. It's just dirt East Coast USA, which was selected. And I tell you, you can open this application twice and can have a sneak in your terrain generation, which material is what, and have this open for the base color. That works. Okay. That's fine. That's fine for the beginning, I would say. So now we just press activate base color mode. Oh, I forgot something. Doesn't matter. Do it because such a base color doesn't consist only of one texture, but you have more textures, these typical PBR textures, which give the thing more of a 3D look and stuff like that. And it's nice to blur the material borders a bit. So we just enable it. I should enable it by default. And we make a reset and rebake. Even if you would now in another application you opened in the terrain generation and you change road widths or something like that, there you could always do the reset and rebake, and it really regathers all the data for you. So, okay. Now it should be okay. We take a look. We go back to the level. Start it. Now I try to find a place with dirt roads. Just to show you, here you see, almost don't see any edges anymore. They are almost gone. So, and you have a nice blending. If you go out the map, no jagged areas, just looks fine. Yes, that's it. Looks really good. You see, here you have a junction and the road is perfectly drivable here. No bumps. And this is really not easy if you have a satellite data. Okay, one thing I see here is that our rock material is way too shiny. It has a wrong roughness value count. I just try to get the roughness out of out of the original East Coast level, but here somehow it failed. I show you how you can repair this quickly. We just go back and we search for the rocks. And it's this rock East Coast material which is used. You see it's calculated with the roughness of 60, and this is way too shiny. 60 is okay for this rocks large, which is are pebbles. So rocks large is the wrong name, and the pebbles are most time inside the water or are used as water material, and they can be shiny. But here we should take the preset rock, perhaps still a bit shiny, but not that shiny. And if it's still too shiny for you, you can try it out. You can go to custom, for example, and say, okay, we take a roughness of something 180. You must try it out. And then you say reset and rebake. And everything you change here is saved in the level in special folders I do, so that you can come back later on and can redo it after you work on your map. Because this thing you really need very often if you hand paint a lot of stuff in the map and want to change things. Use this really as a starter map and make your own map out of it. Then you would come back very often here. And of course, you would go to paint mode and activate the paint mode so that you can paint asphalt roads and see where they are. And later on, you would go to base color mode and render this final base color for the map. So let's take a look if it's less shiny now. Mhm. Let's go to, you see it from far away already. It's less shiny, looks more natural, better. Yes. Yes, we almost have it. I can show you one more thing. What you can do with the base color, for example, for the water here. Somewhere is this river. I don't know exactly where it was. Ah, here. Here's the river. And it's quite grayish. And we want to have perhaps a perfect background PBR color already. If we put the water over it later with the water tools and the world editor. But you know, the ground color shines through and gives the water the real color. So this is what I show you. Because we imported all the data from OpenStreetMap, we have all this layer information in here. So besides the terrain materials we have, we could use custom layers. So, and just add a custom layer. And you have this mask PNG drop down. You could load an own file if you paint something yourself in Photoshop or whatever. But we take a look at all the layers we have from OpenStreetMap, and they are a lot. And we have these natural layers. And normally under natural, you have the water polygons. They are not there every time, but if it's tagged the right way in OpenStreetMap, you will find it. So, and we say we want to override the color. And you know, very often in the ads, you have kind of these colors here. So like this, for example. So take this and they say it should take a little bit of the overlay as well. We mix the overlay, the satellite overlay in a little bit. We go down with the roughness because it should be shiny, it's water. And say reset and rebake. And here you see on top of the merge preview that the water of the river changes color right now. So this is the last thing we check. And we see it already. Color here changed. Not perfect, but it gives you an idea. Yes, that's it for today. Let's take a look how our roads look like here. Just place the car here. And of course we have AI. I just say auto start. And perhaps we add some traffic. And here we go. It's beautiful, isn't it? And you have perfectly fine level as a starter. And then you can do whatever you want with this level and add your rails and railguards and perhaps exchange the ugly block buildings with real buildings and stuff like that. This is a good starting point. Yes, thanks. That's it for today. Bye bye.